So today is the last day of the January transfer window, and as of now, it doesn't look like we're going to sign anyone. And I've been waiting for a signing, at least one signing. Every fan has been waiting for at least one signing. But what I'm starting to identify with the Arsenal fan base is that we starting to have a longer term perspective on things. Because if this was last season or a few seasons ago, man, fans would be angry. But the sentiment I'm hearing from most fans right now is that we're going to be coming heavy in the summer. We're going to be signing the best players, the best attackers, the best midfielders in the summer. This is because of the financial fair play, and we need to sort that out. And after we sort that out, then we can sign better players. Most of the fan base, this is what I'm hearing. But I know that if it was last season or previous seasons, it wouldn't be like that from no fan. Every fan will be critical of the manager, of the owners, and of the board. Every fan. And I'm one of them, because this is what I expect. I expect the summer to be a big summer. I expect us to get another winger. I expect us to get a centre mid. If who knows, perhaps we're going to pull off a late one, getting a midfielder or a wing or a fullback. But if we don't get any player this January transfer window, I expect a striker, a winger, at least one centre mid, possibly two. That can play. One can play defensive mid for El Neni and Jorginho, and one can play centre mid, the Kevin De Bruyne-esque type of player. And I expect, I would say a fullback. Am I being greedy? Because we've got Zinchenko, we've got Timber coming back, and we've got Benjamin White, we've got Tomiyasu. Am I being greedy? Perhaps. But if we don't get a fullback, I would want a centre back to compete with Saliba. So it's either or either. If we're gonna get Benjamin White to be playing centre back in replacement for Saliba, then I would want another fullback, someone that's different from Benjamin White, because Benjamin White plays a bit stiff sometimes. He hasn't got that pace, that drive, constantly. So he would have it in a few matches, but not consistently. To be up and down the wing, like as soon as he get the ball, first thing he thinks about is dribbling. I don't think he has that. But before I get into the latest update, don't forget to hit the like button. So the first player we're going to talk about is Charles Sagoe Jr. And we see that he's a youngster. And it says that he joined Swansea City on loan for the remainder of the season. So 19 years old, and we see when he came, he started, I think it was a FA Cup match or a Carling Cup match this season, and he didn't have a bad match. For me, he was one of the best players on the pitch, and that's saying a lot from a youngster. So for me, this is a very good loan for him and the club. The reason being, we see that Patino has been signed for Swansea on loan as well, and he's been pulling up trees. He's been doing very, very well. Swansea is a team that develop players very good. They're very good at developing young players, and Patino is evidence of that so far, and he's a fan's favourite. He's been scoring goals, getting assists, and overall he's one of their best players so far. And basically the team, the manager, the fans, everyone is on his side, and he's developing and getting better and better. So to have another Arsenal player there, and I assume they know each other from throughout the academy, that having them together, playing together, gelling together, understanding each other before, and then going into the same team, Patino could easily help him to integrate into the team. And for me, this is things I love, because Sagoe Jr. is the type of player that I think is not far off from first team potential. Is not far off from being basically a regular on the bench, much less to be starter, because he's got very good core abilities, which is a very good dribbler, pacey. He's got a very good shot on him when he's getting to the right position, and he helps coming back as well. So for me, he's got all the fundamentals to be a top player. He just need the experience. He just need experience at a high level as well. And when you see that Championship is playing at a very high level right now. So for me, this is a very good signing. Sagoe is going to go there, develop, get better, and also that's for him personally, and also for us. We know that Swansea is a team that helped develop players. So for us, he might come back an even better player, looking to put the first team players under pressure when he comes back. So Fabrizio Romano have said that Hertha Berlin agreed permanent deal to sign BradleyIbrahim from Arsenal. Player in Berlin with the agent Alan Redmond from Rock Nation. Exclusive details. Contract until 2027. Arsenal will have matching rights, healthy sell-on clause plus add-ons for appearances. So first thing we see that is in Berlin, and it's a permanent deal. That's the first thing we see. We see that BradleyIbrahim is signing a permanent deal, and he's basically a captain for the thing on the 18s. Jack Wilshere has been singing his praises, saying that he's one of the best players in the academy, if not the best. And he's the captain for the under 18s, I believe. And this is it, that he was signed on a permanent deal. So there's no coming back for him. And now the next thing we see that it's Rock Nation, and we know that Rock Nation is a Jay-Z brand. Rock Nation is basically an entertainment brand, and now they're venturing into football. So basically his agent is employed by Rock Nation. The next thing we see that Arsenal have matching rights. So potentially if he improves and get better in the future, and basically teams want him and he's that good that every team wants him, or the best teams in the world wants him, then we have matching rights. If it's Barcelona, if it's Real Madrid, we can match those offers. If we match those offers, then we can potentially get him. Next thing, we've got a healthy sell-on clause. And this is something I've been saying that for the previous, I don't know how long, since Arsene Wenger, since the early years of, even for Arsene Wenger's reign, we've never had a system, we've never had a structure to be able to have players selling on for good money in terms of the sell-on clauses. We've never produced any players that could have been sold anyways, apart from the players that we've got like Jack Wilshere and those players that stayed into the team. I don't think we've ever produced player of Ibrahim quality or caliber as a young player, because he's one of the best young players in his age group at this time. Because Hertha Berlin is not basically a rubbish team. We see that a few young players, English players, went there when they're younger, and these English players are very, very good. And Hertha Berlin signed them, and Hertha Berlin signed them and improved them. Now, this could be something for him. And if it does happen that we have matching rights and we don't want to sign him, then we will still get a healthy add-on clauses, and we still get additional add-ons for basically appearance. So if he goes over there, performs well, we will still get add-ons. So for me, it's a win-win, because I know that Arsenal will not be selling any player that they see that could be in the first team. And this is what something I respect about Arteta, I respect about the new regime, I respect about Edu and Richard Garlick, because in previous seasons, Arsene Wenger would have kept him in the team. Keep on trying him, knowing that he's not good enough. And I love the way we're ruthless. We're so ruthless right now. And for example, people like Nketiah, I know Arteta loves him, but people like Nketiah, if that was Arteta back in them days, when Wenger started to bring through Eddie Nketiah and things like that, I know that Arteta would have got rid of him, but Arteta developed a certain bond, a certain relationship, a certain level of love. And I think that even though he loves the way Eddie Nketiah is work rate, he loves the way he plays, I think most of it is sentimental reason. And I'm sorry to say, that's some of the reason why I still think Arteta has Nketiah in the team and is not willing to let him go. But when it comes down to the younger players now, he can have a more, basically a less attached decision-making process, because he doesn't know these players. I see him a few times going to their matches, going to the under 18 matches and watching them, under 21 matches, watching them. So he knows these players, and also he gets regular updates. So if they're going, it's because Arteta wants them to go. Now, when you compare him to Lewis Skelly, and compare him to Waneri, we have signed them to a contract. Even though it was a bit difficult, we did tie them down to contracts. So that shows you that any player that leaves, any young player that leaves, is because they're not potentially having a bright future at the Arsenal. We just talk about Sagoe Jr. And he went out on loan. Patino went out on loan because they have a potential future at the club. But Ibrahim looks like he didn't have any future. And this is what I'm saying. There's another one now, but this is kind of a weird one, because Lino Sousa has signed for Aston Villa on a permanent deal, and this is it, that Lino Sousa, I've been crying out for him to get a game, at least one game. Let me see what he's like. But Arteta doesn't believe in him. He was in the team for a few FA Cup matches and he didn't get his start. So it might be a thing that Arteta doesn't believe in him, or you can't wait for the chance to get his opportunity, because he signed on a permanent deal at Aston Villa. We know that Aston Villa is one of the biggest club in England right now. They're trying to be one of the biggest club. They're trying to be in the top 6, I would say, going forward for the in the future, because they're spending money. They've got quality players like Leon Bailey, like Watkins. They've got very, very good player. Diaby they've signed in last summer. So they've got very good players, and signing Lino Sousa and then, but they've sent him out on loan. But for the fact that they're signing these young players, for me, they're also planning for the future. And Sousa, and for the fact that they signed him and sent him out on loan, shows you that he still wasn't ready for Arsenal. Because Aston Villa is not a bigger club than Arsenal. Aston Villa left back is not better. No matter how bad this season Zinchenko is at defending, Aston Villa left back is not better than Zinchenko. And I think their left back is Alex Moreno. So no matter what you think of him, he's not better than ours left back, and he can't get into our team, right? And now he went to Aston Villa, they sent him straight on loan, out on loan. He can't even get in their team. So I don't know if it's a form of integration, but even if it's integration, he's not been integrated in the Aston Villa team. He's going out on loan. So I don't see, there's no other way to say that he's just not ready. And Aston Villa is trying to get him ready by sending him out on loan. So for me, once again, if he was a player that we wanted to keep, we would have kept him. Another thing, we sold him to a very good team in Aston Villa permanently. So we must get a good deal in terms of, I think he was 18 or 19. So I know we've got a good deal, because that's what I'm saying. That's 2 players so far we've sold. 2 players. We sold 2, one to Hertha Berlin, which is not a bad club, and to Aston Villa, one of the best club in the league right now. We sold one of our youngsters to them on a permanent deal. We also loan out one of Sagoe Jr., one of our one of our brightest wingers. We've sent him out on loan. Man, that shows you that our academy are developing some top quality players that we can now get some money from or send out on loan for some valuable experience and come back in the team. And if we want to sell them later on or get them integrated in the first team, we can have a decision there to make. But for me, this is a very big deal. Once again, I'm not mad at this, because if we wanted to keep him, I know we could have. But I believe in Arteta's trust and process. I believe in Edo's process, because 2 players that did not want to leave after seeing how much they've been improving throughout the past 2-3 seasons is Skelly and Waneri. And we've signed them to contracts. So everyone knows. And also Chibo, that youngster, I think he's 16, that scored the hat-trick the other day, that striker, the tall striker. I don't want to get rid of him either. So those are the players that I'm watching right now for Arsenal future. So this is the next one. Nottingham Forest have asked Arsenal about signing Aaron Ramsdale before the window shuts. Nuno Espirito Santo's side are desperate need of a new goalkeeper, and they have been linked with plenty of players recently. Arsenal star Ramsdale's name is the latest to come out of the rumor mill. Now, this is it that, I can't see this one. I can't see this one, to be honest, because the reason being, Arteta has said that Ramsdale ain't going nowhere, and I kind of believe Arteta. I really do, because I think that the reason why we've been playing Raya so much is because I think we have a certain amount of, he needs to make a certain amount of appearances for us to sign him permanently. And I could see that there's a chance that going on to next season, there's going to be proper competition. And this is where the competition starts. But I believe for this season, he had to make certain appearances to be signed permanently. That's what I personally believe. Hopefully that's not why it is, because Arteta keeps saying that he's not going to sell Ramsdale. And I don't think we should just sell Ramsdale like that. I think we should give him a chance to fight back and take back his place. But on the other hand, Arteta could just be saying this because he's trying to protect the value of Ramsdale. Because if every club knows that you don't want this player, they're going to try to come in and give you some lowball offers. So Arteta potentially is protecting the value of Ramsdale by saying that he wants him to stay. But I don't know. But for me, if Ramsdale go, I'll be a bit disappointed, but I still trust that Raya is our number one and is good enough to win us lots of trophies going forward in the future. Even though I've mentioned all that, right, about players leaving and things like that, and there's no player coming in so far, they're still positive. The positive is that Fabrizio Romano gave us an update on the situation of certain players' contract in terms of Ben White and Tomiyasu. Romano said, I think it's quite normal while we are in January transfer window not to advance in terms of contracts. Tomiyasu is also in the Asian Cup, so he's obviously not advancing to the final stages of talks right now, but discussions with both players are going very well. Arsenal are very optimistic on both players, and both players are very happy at Arsenal. I think at the end of the year we will see both Ben White and Tomiyasu with new contracts at Arsenal, and for me that's very, 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 very encouraging. I don't want to get rid of Ben White. I don't want to get rid of Tomiyasu. For me, I would add an extra fullback to those two because Tomiyasu is very versatile. He can play on the left, he can play in the middle, he can play on the right. Benjamin White can play in the middle, can play on the right. And I feel like we need a natural fullback, a not natural right back. That can provide different capabilities. And for me, Frimpong is I would be happy with Frimpong. I see that Bowie is going to, I believe he's going to Bayern Munich. So I would be just as happy with Frimpong right now, because Frimpong for me is an ideal player that can even substitute for Saka. If Saka some matches not feeling fit, gets taken off, get injured, Frimpong can play in that position. So that's the news update for today. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and help me on my journey to 1,000 subs. Catch you in the next video. Goodbye.